Can you believe it's been 25 years since this epic adventure film that was based on an old horror film was released? Well, believe it. Here's my review of The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1999 action-adventure horror comedy flick The Mummy, released by Universal, directed by Stephen Sommers, starring Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, and Arnold Vosloo in the title role as the reanimated mummy. It is a remake of the 1932 film of the same name, which unfortunately, it's one monster film from Universal I still have yet to talk about. The film follows adventurer Rick O'Connell as he travels to Haman. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Hamanaptra, the City of the Dead, with librarian Evelyn Carnahan and her older brother Jonathan, where they accidentally awaken Imhotep, a cursed high priest with supernatural powers. The film was released on this day, May 7th, 1999, which henceforth today is the film's 25th anniversary. Anyway, this film was exceptionally really good. Despite getting mixed reviews, it was still a big success. And it was so incredible. I've seen this several times, but let's get into the story. In Thebes, Egypt, 1290 BC, High Priest Imhotep has an affair with Ankhsu-Namun, the mistress of and future bride of Pharaoh Seti the first. Excuse me. They kill the pharaoh after he discovers their relationship. Imhotep flees while Ankhsu-Namun, sorry if I keep mispronouncing, I apologize, kills herself. Believing he can resurrect her, Imhotep and his priests steal her corpse and travel to Hamunaptra, the City of the Dead. The resurrection ritual is stopped by the pharaoh's bodyguards, the Magi. Imhotep's priests are mummified alive, while Imhotep himself is tortured, cursed, and buried alive with flesh-eating scarabs at the feet of a statue of the god Anubis. The Magi are sworn to prevent Imhotep's return. In 1926 AD Cairo, Jonathan Carnahan presents his sister Evelyn, a librarian and aspiring Egyptologist, working for museum curator Dr. Terence Bay, with an intricate box and map that led to the City of the Dead. Jonathan reveals he stole the box from an American adventurer, Rick O'Connell, who discovered the city while in the Foreign Legion. French Foreign Legion, that is, 3 years earlier. Evelyn and Jonathan find Rick in a local prison and make a deal with him to lead them to the sea, bribing prison warden Gad Hassan to free him. Rick guides Evelyn and her party to the sea, encountering a band of American treasure hunters led by Rick's cowardly acquaintance, Bene Gabor. Despite being warned to leave by Arith Bey, leader of the Magi, the two expeditions continue their excavations. A flesh-eating scarab hatches from a decorative shell embedded in an artifact Warden Hassan is looting and burrows inside his body, killing him. Meanwhile, several diggers working with the Americans are killed by triggering a cloud of pressurized salt acid during the excavation. Evelyn searches for the Book of Amun-Ra, which is made of pure gold. Instead of finding it, she stumbles upon Imhotep's remains. The team of Americans, meanwhile, discover the Black Book of the Dead, accompanied by canopic jars carrying Ankhsu-Namun's preserved organs. At night, Evelyn reads from the Book of the Dead aloud, accidentally awakening the mummified Imhotep, who seems to briefly confuse Evelyn with, his fiance. You know what I mean. The expeditions flee back to Cairo, and Imhotep follows them to, well, with the help of Benny, who has agreed to serve him. He regenerates his full strength and human form by killing the members of the American expedition and brings the 10 plagues back to Egypt. Meanwhile, Evelyn learns that Terence is also working with the Magi. Rick, Evelyn, Jonathan, and Terence meet Ardeth at the museum, who hypothesizes that Imhotep wants to resurrect Ankh-Su by sacrificing Evelyn. She believes that if the Book of the Dead brought Imhotep back to life, the Book of Amun-Ra can kill him again, and deduces the book's whereabouts in Hamunaptra. Imhotep corners the group with an army of slaves. Evelyn agrees to accompany him if he spares the rest of the group. Although Imhotep does not honor his word, Rick and the others fight their way to safety, with Terence sacrificing himself to ensure their escape. Now for the ending, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below. As I count down now, if you've seen the movie already, please continue with. Okay, you've been warned. Rick, Jonathan, and Ardeth recruit Captain Winston Havelock, a member of the Royal Air Force with a death wish to fly them back to Hamunaptra in pursuit of Imhotep. However, Imhotep magically conjures a sandstorm, crashing their plane and killing Havelock. Rick, Jonathan, and Ardeth locate the Book of Amun-Ra in Hamunaptra, while Imhotep prepares to sacrifice Evelyn, also bringing Anksu's mummified remains to life as part of the ritual. Rick manages to rescue her after a brutal fight with Imhotep's mummified priest and mummified soldiers. Anksu's mummy is also slain during the melee. Evelyn reads from the Book of Amun-Ra, making Imhotep mortal, and he is fatally wounded by Rick. Imhotep degenerates back to its mummified form and descends into the pool of souls, vowing revenge. Benny accidentally sets up a booby trap while looting the city of its riches and is killed by a swarm of fleshing scarabs as Hamunaptra collapses into the sand. Ardeth bids Rick, Evelyn, and Jonathan goodbye, and the trio rides away on a pair of camels, not realizing it is laden with Benny's stolen treasure. End of story. So, what did I think of The Mummy from 1999? Well, I must say, this film is a good film. I liked it. I've seen it several times. I just finished recently watching the film on Peacock. This was really, really something. Now, of course, I must admit he did an exceptionally very good job at directing this. Now recently he directed the 1994 adaptation of Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book for Disney before this, as well as the film Deep Rising. And of course, after this, he would direct the sequel to this, The Mummy Returns, and its spinoff, The Scorpion King, as well as Van Helsing and G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra. I will say Summers did a pretty good job on this. Anyway, this was just so incredible. I really liked where this took place. It took place filming in Morocco and the UK, and also in the Sahara Desert. ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, provided many of the visual effects, blending live action footage and computer generated imagery to create The Mummy. The score was provided by Jerry Goldsmith, who had just more recently composed the Universal Pictures fanfare when it introduced their new logo 2 years prior. Now then, when it was released, the film has gone to make $417 million worldwide against its $80 million budget, despite getting mixed response. The film sits at 61% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's at 48 out of 100 on Metacritic and got a B from CinemaScore. The Chicago Sun-Times said there is hardly a thing I can say in its favor, according to Roger Ebert, except I was cheered by nearly every minute of it. I cannot argue for the script, the direction, the acting, or even the mummy, but I can say that I was not bored, and sometimes I was unreasonably pleased. Well, critics such as Entertainment Weekly's Owen Gleiberman and the New York Times' Stephen Holden concurred with the sentiment of the film as a breezy crowd pleaser. Well, I'm just gonna say this was just really something. I really will say that the effects were really good. I do think the cast was really good as well. For our cast, we have Brendan Fraser as Rick O'Connell. He did an exceptionally good job. Rachel Weisz plays Evelyn. I This is why I introduced the film that introduced me to her. I'd see her in other films after this. John Hannah played Jonathan. He was really good. Arnold Vosloo, who had recently played the titular character in the Darkman sequels, which were direct to video, played Emotive, and I'm gonna say I liked his performance. Kevin J. O'Connor played Benny. I gotta say he was really good. Jonathan Hyde played Dr. Chamberlain. I do remember him. He was in several films. He was recently in Anaconda, Jumanji as Van Pelt, and also as Cadbury in Richie Rich. Let's see, Oded Fair played R.F. Bay. Eric Avari, who of course I'd see him in numerous films, played Dr. Terrence Bay, and that's Bay with a B-E-Y. There's lots of others and what have you. But my surprise, I was surprised to see Bernard Fox, who I knew best for playing Dr. Bombay on the classic 60s sitcom Bewitched, as Captain Havelock. Yeah, that was really something. Let's see now. I'm just making sure. Yeah. And Patricia Velasquez played Angsu Naman. I'm gonna say she was pretty good. So the cast was pretty good too. After this, there would be a direct sequel. Well, actually, two of them. 2 years later, we get a sequel in the form of The Mummy Returns. And then 7 years later would be The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. It also led to spin-offs such as its animated series that was shown on the WB network the same year that The Mummy Returns was released. I've never actually seen it though, unfortunately, but I might look into it though. And its prequel, The Scorpion King, which came out the following year in 2002, which would get numerous direct-to-video sequels. Attempts to reboot the property and kickstart a new Mia franchise led to a 2017 film for the Dark Universe. But unfortunately, that film didn't do too well. I may review it sometime down the road. Now, mind you, I will review The Mummy Returns and Tomb of the Dragon Emperor later on down the road. But for now, I'm only doing this one. So, I've actually seen this on home media, of course, from Universal, and then later I got to revisit numerous times on the SARS network. So anyway, with its great effects, a great cast, a pretty good story, and good direction, and a great score from one of the greatest composers I've actually liked, the late great Jerry Goldsmith, The Mummy is good. But would I recommend it? I'd say hell yeah, go for it. You won't be disappointed. I mean, I think you're gonna like it. This was probably one of the greats, and I'd say this is probably my favorite Brendan Fraser film of all time. Definitely. So, what did you think of The Mummy from 1999? Let me know in the comments section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you another anniversary review, and it's going to be the Star Trek reboot from 2009. So if you like this, check out these other films, and they're part of another franchise, which kind of served as a little something for this. That being the Indiana Jones franchise. The upper left hand corner is my review of the film that started off for that franchise, Raiders of the Lost Ark from 1981. The upper right hand corner is my review of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom from 1984. And the bottom left hand corner, is my review of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade from 1989, which, of course, that's celebrating its 35th anniversary this year, as a matter of fact. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Continue to help support my channel, make it grow, and make the views grow. So until next time, on the Big D Sing, see ya.